This week's Torah portion is Achare Mot, and in it, in the very first section of it, in the first 34 verses, we see a description of how to cleanse the community of sins. It's the biblical version of Yom Kippur, and in it the priests are instructed to take a goat and bring it out in front of the people and have them transfer their sins from themselves onto the goat, and the goat will be sent off into the desert, the original scapegoat. But curiously, at the end of this description, there's a sentence that says, and then the priests will cleanse the sanctuary and the Holy of Holies and the inner sanctum of its sins as well. The rabbis ask, how could it be that the Holy of Holies is the place of sin? How could it be the place where only the high priest in God's presence can be felt? How can that place have sin? And so they launch into a great discussion in the Talmud about what it means to be human and about what it means for there to be sin in the world. And they recognize that there are two halves of every human. We have the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Ra, the good inclination and the inclination to do evil, Yetzer Hara. And the rabbis suggest in the Talmud that perhaps even the Holy of Holies should be sealed off with lead, because lead was impenetrable, and if there was sin projecting forth from the Holy of Holies, that it would be held inside. They recognize that they couldn't do that. And so they talk about perhaps praying to God in heaven that we only are given half of each of these qualities. That if there's going to be anger in the world, that it should be because we're upset about moral ineptitude, or that something unjust has happened. So that we could harness the good quality of each of these bad qualities. Ultimately, they recognize that we can't do that. That it's up to the human being to decide between good and bad, between evil and its opposite. And so we're left with that task today. How do we atone for our sins, because everybody sins in some way, but yet go forward and choose the good? That is the difficult question.